Hey guys, David here. So I want to go into my Wicked Problem Project survey and all the feedback that I got. But I just want you to know that the whole idea of this survey was to gather data to try and figure out what is important to my Wicked question, which is up here, which is what is the subset of skills required to become a successful questioner, and how can I effectively teach those skills in my classroom? And this question I didn't want to formally ask, so what I ended up doing across the survey was I pulled information about what people thought was important as a skill, why they thought it was important, asking questions, a lot of questions about technology, finding answers, how do you get them to be curious. So it's all about different types of questions that kind of guide towards my wicked problem over here, which is about the subset of skills. And if I'm right, the idea of teaching questioning may be able to address all of the different skills that people are bringing up. So I'm trying to see if questioning is something that can tackle all of these really important aspects with the data I collect and then see what other people think. So let's get into the data. So across the survey, I have a lot of different educators across elementary, middle school, high school, graduates, all across the board. And a lot of these teachers are experiencing students who are hesitant to share their ideas. They aren't asking questions. Their questioning skill may need to be developed more. So the skills that people find are important are very, very spread out. Everyone seems to think that something is the most important without like a single agreement. A little bit more over here for reducing fear. But we got risk-taking, flexible thinking and problem-solving, grit and endurance, emotional coping skills, collaboration, empathy, flexibility, critical thinking, versatility, public speaking, collaboration, willingness to make mistakes, confidence. These are all really important skills. And I think that if questioning is formally taught, people will be able to identify their weaknesses by asking those questions, and then they can work on addressing them. So only time will tell if I'm right, but let's continue going through the information. So why do they think those are important skills? Risk takers are able to ask questions, work is changing. I think it all boils down to 21st century skills are necessary, and these are 21st century skills. Have you ever had a student ask a relevant question that amazed you? And a lot of people have. So asking good questions, people remember good questions. That's what this question taught me. So if we can teach people to ask better questions, there's going to be more deep discussions and more learning that happens for all students in the class, even if they're not the ones asking the question. So most technology is geared towards answer finding, not encouraging more questions. How do you ask more better questions with technology? And people are saying that you can use technology to use video boards, video recordings. You can use collaboration tools, blog posts, research topics, visualization softwares, posting boards. So it seems like it's like an inquiry exploration where people can ask questions online and see what each other say. So I think that's a really helpful piece of feedback that the internet's really good at sharing ideas, especially sharing questions. How do you get your students to be curious? A lot of it was with think, pair, share, classroom class, lead the discussion, excitement, applying it to their lives when in a unique situation. So the reason I asked this question over here is because I think that curiosity is probably the most important thing for a student to have, and that's what drives them to want to learn. So I think that asking good questions can lead to curiosity. And so I've tried doing classroom cash in the past, and it works to an extent. I've tried think, pair, share. I've let students lead the discussion. But I think these are all like band-aids to the wrong question. Like, I think that they're important and they work, but they may not we may not be focused, or I may not be focused on necessarily answering the right question. So I think that the right question might be, how do you teach engagement? And I think questioning is what's going to get kids more engaged, because they're going to have less stress, less risk. They're going to enjoy trying to think of every scenario. Like I love questioning. So hopefully what the information here shows is that, these are all things I've tried, but only time will tell. Have you ever had a struggling, unmotivated students who you're able to inspire, impact in a meaningful way? Everyone had. And most of it was building rapport, and it was, loving them and making sure that they know that they're important. And the reason I asked this question is because I'm curious to know if stress and feeling like they are stupid or they can't ask questions was part of the reason. And I think that I didn't get the answer in this question, but at least it showed me that every single person seemed to rely around building a relationship. And once that relationship is built, you can kind of reach that person. So I think that was a good takeaway. I asked over here, what can you do to promote mindfulness and mental health? I think that, this is, again, aimed at reducing stress in the classroom. And people had some really good ideas over here that I want to try and incorporate. And then I just got some other information, basic stuff about what grade level they teach. And we had a widespread of range of age of people who teach, all the way from 5 years to 30 years. And as someone who's been teaching now, this is going to be my 4th year, I'm like on the lowest end of the chart. So I'm really appreciative of all the feedback that I got from people, from social workers to special educators to administration to colleagues even at Michigan State University. I got a little bit of everything in this survey. I reached out on Twitter, but I didn't get any people on Twitter. I reached out via email, and I got a lot of my Michigan State colleagues to answer, and then I reached out to my building's principal, and he disseminated the survey, and I got some people to answer it. In total, I got 11 responses so far. Hopefully I get more, but I'm very appreciative of what I got so far. So that's about what I got with my survey information. I think overall the best takeaway that I got from this is, sorry, that was a bee on my head. The best information was there's a widespread amount of skills that are really important in the classroom, and I think that questioning can help people identify how to improve these. And I'm going to be trying to incorporate this into my classroom, and I'm also going to have I think my students take a survey in the fall, a different survey, but something kind of along the lines of what they think is a valuable skill, and see if they can buy into questioning by seeing that that is something that would be able to help them for what they think is a valuable skill for them to have. I also really think that it was important for me to see this question of how do you get them to be curious, because I think this right here is going to be leading me towards my potential solution, which you guys can read below down there. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed all of this survey feedback and all the charts. Until next time.